From Colombo, this is Other Derana 24/7.
Foundation laid for Volkswagen assembly plant in Kuliapitia. Pfizer denies attempt to delay LG polls. Government economic plan to be unveiled tomorrow. And St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia to hire Watmore as consultant coach.
First at 9. This is Other Derana 24/7.
A very good evening to you. This is Other Derana 24/7 Dera English News, and I'm Dasaman Prematunga. We're starting off with local news. The foundation for the automobiles assembly factory in Kuliapitia, spanning across a 29-acre plot of land, was laid this afternoon. The factory will assemble the world-renowned Volkswagen vehicles in Sri Lanka. The joint venture project is valued at $26.5 million and is geared to operate in 24 months.
President Maithripala Sirisena laid the foundation stone for the factory in the presence of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and officials of Western Automobiles Company, as well as their Sri Lankan partner Senok Automobiles. Volkswagen is the world's second largest automobile maker. In the first 3 years of operation, vehicles manufactured in the plant will be sold to Sri Lankans. Thereafter, vehicles will be marketed internationally. The factory will assemble cars, sports, utility vehicles, multi-utility vehicles and other commercial vehicles of 1000cc and 2000cc engine capacity. The venture is to create 2,500 high-paying jobs while providing technical training and technical experience to local youth. Out of the $26.5 million investment, $21.5 million will be spent on assets and equipment within 24 months.
අද මේ කර්මාන්ත ශාලාවෙන් අනාගතයේ රැකියා 2500ක් දෙන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
We expect to provide 2,500 jobs from the ME's garments factory at Pannala. Once we receive GSP Plus, we hope to provide 5,000 jobs. This means over 7,000 jobs from these two factories alone. From the hum to the projects, there will be over 20,000 jobs. However, the President and I will not be satisfied with this because the youth of this country require more jobs than that. When we took over the government on January 8, the earnings of the government were 10% of the GDP. That was not even sufficient to service the debt. I would like to stress here that we would not leave this burden for the next generation to pay.
ඊළඟ පරම්පරාවට ඔය ණය බාර දෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා අපි කියන්න කැමතියි.
Meanwhile, in Giriyulla, the Mass Fabric Park opened today at an investment of $28 million. The fabric park was declared open by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. 3,000 new jobs have been created within the investment area. The site was closed for more than 13 years following the closure of the Kabul Lanka factory. It is expected that the new factory will generate $75 million worth of export revenue annually. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe will unveil Sri Lanka's economic program tomorrow. This is part of President Maithripala Sirisena's Vision 2030 Sustainability Development Program, which was launched yesterday. Titled A Powerful Sri Lanka, the government's economic plan will focus on developing Sri Lanka within two main economic windows. Development will be streamlined in the Southwest Economic Window and the Northeast Economic Window. The Western, Central, Southern and Northwestern provinces will be developed under the Southwest Economic Window, while the North, North Central and Eastern provinces will come under the Northeast Economic Window. Minister Faiza Mustafa rejects allegations that he is in a deliberate attempt to postpone local government elections. Yesterday, much drama was created with the minister refusing to accept the report of the Delimitation Committee, citing that two of its members had not signed it. Incidentally, the report was not signed by members of the government. Now, earlier in the day, we spoke to election monitoring organizations over the phone.
But as a practice, we know that there are 5-member committee and 3 of them, including the chairman, 3 of them has already agreed and signed. So the minister should accept that, because as a minister, he is the responsible person to complete the delimitation report and announce the elections for the local government. But unfortunately, in the last 2 years, we have noted that the minister has not worked as a responsible minister. And also, we should insist that this is the responsibility of the government also. The Prime Minister and the President also need to seriously consider these situations, and they need to advise the minister. These committee members continuously participated the committee meeting, and if there's no blessings from the top of the UNP and the SLSP, this sort of action might not taken place with the delimitation commission members. We have experienced a very shameless attempt to postpone the local council elections, and we urged all the political parties and the civil society activists to come forward and defeat the government's effort to further postpone the local council elections.
These are views expressed by various quarters, but I will do the right thing for the country. There is no delay. I mean, Mr. Asoko Piris has written to the other 2 members asking them to sign it within 7 days. So in the next few days they will give me the report and I will gazette it. There is no delay by any quarter. Could I have accepted a report with 3 signatures when 2 others have not? They have not refused not to sign.
Now, in our lead stories today, we saw some massive investments taking place in the country. And in this context, we now have Special Projects Minister Dr. Sarath Amanugama joining us in the studio to discuss further on these investments. Good evening and welcome to Derana 24/7 News, Minister Amanugama. Thank you for joining us. Minister Amanugama, now today we saw the foundation stone being laid for a Volkswagen plant in Kuliapitia by the government, as well as the opening of a $26 million US factory by MAS in Giriulla. Now, at the same time, tomorrow the Prime Minister will launch the government's economic program for the coming years. Now, as a Minister of the government, how do you see these investments impacting on the country's economy on the whole?
Well, Sri Lanka desperately needs foreign investment for several reasons. Firstly, our domestic income, our internal collections through taxation and so on is barely sufficient for our recurrent expenditure, for salaries, for maintenance, paying off debts and that sort of thing. So to create employment, to have economic development, we badly need investment, and also, as we see in today's investment, we need technology very badly, so new technology. So this is a very good start for the new year when we are seeing foreign investment, new technology and chances of more employment for our young people.
In this context, how optimistic is this coalition government of meeting the ambitious target of creating 1 million job opportunities in the coming year?
We are very optimistic. Actually, it has to be done because we see so many young people coming in to the job market. You will see that next week we will be signing an agreement with the Chinese company for the development of Hambantota port and the economic zone in and around Hambantota. That will generate something like 25,000 new jobs. We are also planning training centers now, 3 training centers in the south. So it's all systems go. There will be a holding company which will have shares. Chinese company will have 80% of the shares, and Sri Lanka Port Authority will have 20% of the shares. So it's a joint venture. There has been a lot of talk about selling the land and betraying and all that. It's all nonsense because it's a holding company, what is called a special investment vehicle. So we are looking forward to more and more investment because it is from that investment that we can really invest, really set apart money for growth and for employment.
Thank you very much, Minister Amanugama, for joining us. And we take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Moving on with local news. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa alleges that the current government is executing a plan to bring in foreign influence to the country. He made these comments during an event held in Ambilipitia.
We can prove as to how we allocate and spend all of the loans we borrowed during our term. But if we ask the current government how they have allocated loans they have borrowed, they will not have an answer for that. They say the funds are utilized to pay whatever the loans the former government had borrowed, but that outstanding debt still remains the same. I had directed to allocate funds for a 750-acre industrial zone. Now it has become a 20,000-acre project. Even the port has expanded to 5,000 acres. Whose lands are those? These are agricultural lands of the citizens of this country. On top of that, they are focusing on the Trincomalee port. They have put it on auction. Then there is also the matter of Kankasanture and Palali airports. This is a conspiracy to sell the country to a foreign nation.
Here's some news that could affect each one of us. If you are to visit the National Hospital in Colombo, you are cautioned not to take indisposable materials within the hospital premises. A directive from the Colombo Municipal Council resulted in the Health Ministry imposing this decision. The government recently issued notice to all local government authorities that waste should not be collected if they are not properly segregated at the source.
The National Hospital generates 5,000 kilograms of solid waste and 1,000 kilograms of infected clinical waste, which is the most threatening category. This type of waste needs to be sterilized before being disposed. The Colombo National Hospital now prohibits king coconut shells, plastics, polythene and certain cardboard materials from being brought into its premises as part of the project. Food waste is filtered before being used to feed animals. The hospital management clears plastic and polythene garbage twice a week. Garden waste stocks are being cleared twice a day and are recycled. The segregation of waste is essential for an efficient mechanism in garbage processing. Further, to emphasize the directive, the Colombo Municipal Council refuses to pick up the non-segregated waste for processing.
The implementation of certain restrictions as a government policy on waste disposal, we have to improve our system. We have boiled cool water readily available in all the patient care units. So therefore, there is no necessity to bring water. Once they realize the long-term objectives of our efforts, they would abide by the regulation. Our efforts are also, these efforts are also significant.
Moving on with some business news, Central Bank Governor Indrajit Kumaraswamy says Sri Lanka's economy will grow between 5.5 and 6% in 2017, better than estimations for 2016. He said this presenting the Central Bank Roadmap for 2017, outlining monetary and financial sector policies of Sri Lanka for 2017 and beyond.
Today, Sri Lanka is poised for a fresh leap of development. In that context, it is the responsibility of the Central Bank to provide a stable foundation to leverage the country's excellent geographical location and favorable international relations to attract investment to foster more robust and sustainable growth and employment generation. As I have repeatedly emphasized, sustained growth requires strengthening macroeconomic fundamentals, implementing structural reforms that increase the productivity and competitiveness of the economy, and improving the business climate.
Taking a look at the stock update, the Colombo Bourse today hit a new 8-month low. And for more details, we have Imesha Fernando from the Colombo Stock Exchange.
The benchmark all-share price index lost 33.75 points to close at 6,159.12, while the S&P Sri Lanka 20 index lost 33.1 points to close at 3,438.4. The turnover was 353.91 million rupees, with 8.40 million shares changing hands in 2,350 trades. The market capitalization at the end of the day was 2,714.93 billion rupees. Top 5 gainers of the day were Celine Singh, Lanka Ashok Leyland, SNB Leasing, Pegasus Hotels, Malwatha Valley Plantations, non-voting, while the top 5 losers were SNB Leasing, non-voting, T Smallholder Factories, Gel Morais and Sons and Jones, non-voting, East West Properties and Guardian Capital Partners. Today's foreign purchases were 62.17 million rupees and foreign sales were 105.68 million rupees. There were 3 crossings and the crossings turnover was 170.02 million rupees. Thank you.
Time to take a look at the currency update for the day. Welcome back, and in sports news tonight, Sri Lanka were all out for 110 runs in their first innings against South Africa. South Africa totaled 392 all out in their first innings. Sri Lanka trailed South Africa by 282. Sri Lanka skipper Angelo Matthews, winning the toss, invited South Africa to take the first lease of the wicket at the second test match between the two countries played at Newlands, Cape Town. Opener Dean Elgar top scored with 129 runs and wicketkeeper Quinton de Kock scored 101 well-compiled runs. Hashim Amla with 29 and Faf du Plessis 38, Keshav Maharaj 32 not out, were the others contributing towards a healthy South African total.
A fine strike.
Lahiru Kumaro, who played in his third test match, claimed 6 wickets for 122 runs and was the pick of the Sri Lankan bowlers. Suranga Lakmal 2 wickets for 93 runs and Rangana Herath with 2 wickets for 57 runs supported Lahiru Kumaro to damage the South African batting.
From a young man who continues to improve. 100 number.
Still in cricket news, Australia winning the toss selected to bat first on the first day of third test against touring Pakistanis at Sydney Cricket Grounds today. The Aussies scored 365 runs for the loss of 3 wickets at stumps, batting through 88 overs. And Matt Renshaw was at the crease with 167 not out and Peter Hanscombe was with him on unbeaten on 40 runs.
The Aussie Open pair Matt Renshaw and David Warner put on a partnership of 151 runs for the first wicket. David Warner was the first to depart when his personal score on 113. Then Renshaw had a 52-run partnership with Usman Khawaja, who was dismissed for 13 runs. Then Steven Smith at 24 departed after adding a further 41 runs to the total of the third wicket.
Oh, Nick, gone. David Warner's gone.
The unfinished fourth wicket partnership was 121 runs at the close of play. Wahab Riaz with 2 wickets for 63 runs and Yasir Shah with 1 wicket for 132 runs were the successful bowlers for Pakistan.
It's a powerful drive from Smith, which finishes the session with a boundary.
And school cricket, St Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia decides to hire former Sri Lankan cricket coach Dave Watmore as their consultant coach for the ongoing school cricket season. The contract between the two parties is to be signed soon. He will be the consultant coach until the end of the school cricketing season. Moving on with foreign news, the UK's ambassador to the European Union, Sir Ivan Rogers, has resigned with months left to the much-debated Brexit process to officially begin. Now, Sir Ivan, who was appointed to the role of permanent representative by David Cameron in 2013, had been expected to play a key role in the Brexit talks and is expected to start within months. The UK's Foreign Office has not given reasons for his departure. He was to leave his post in November this year. And last month, foreign media revealed he had privately told ministers a UK-EU trade deal might take 10 years to finalise, sparking criticism from some MPs. He told them this was also the view of the EU's other 27 member states.
Representative Sir Ivan Rogers comes just a few months before Prime Minister Theresa May is expected to start formal Brexit negotiations. Rogers is one of the UK's most experienced diplomats on EU affairs and was expected to play a key role in the upcoming and complex Brexit negotiations led by Frenchman Michel Barnier.
And that's it on the English News tonight. Thank you for watching. Hope you join us again tomorrow night. Good night.